Banwarilal Purohit ji, Honorable Governor of Tamilnadu, Dr. Kiran Bedi, Honorable Governor of Puducherry, Shivani Arora, our author, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I personally thank you all for joining us for the launch of our first book of the year, Where Kindness Spoke, by Shivani Arora. Kindness is an important virtue and essential for our well-being, but seldom have we realized its importance and the kind of an impact it can get to the world around us. In Where Kindness Spoke, author Shivani Arora not only shares with us the inspirational life of Lt Puducherry, but also gives us a deeper insight on her leadership style and tells us how compassion, vision, and dedication together can create magic of its own. Our association with Dr. Kiran Bedi has been a long one. We all know her, some of us idolize her, from first Indian woman to join Indian Police Service officer, social activist, former tennis player, politician, and currently a Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. She has come a long way. She is in the news always for one cause or the other, right from picking the car of Indira Gandhi during her IPS days to today as a Lieutenant Governor, and pinpointing flaws of the CM Puducherry just shows what a woman of substance she is. We have been publishing books by Kiran Bedi for 2 decades. Now, starting with its first book, It's Always Possible, which was a result of her prison reforms on Tihar, where it was considered to be a punishment posting to be posted in Tihar. Dr. Bedi turned it to be a prized posting, and on her work on the prison reforms brought her the laurels along with winning a Magsaysay award. She is an avid writer to newspapers and journals, out of which we have published As I See on the day-to-day developments in different spheres of life. Later on, we published Issues and Views, a collection of her articles, followed by Empowering Women. These are the collection of articles only on the empowering of the woman. As I See, Indian Police, As I See, Leadership and Governance, As I See, and Be the Change, a book on fighting corruption. It has always been a pleasure working with her, and her books have been translated in Hindi and other national and international languages. As a publisher, I would like to share that one has to learn from her the art of writing on the day-to-day developments and making a note of all of it in her diary year after year. This time, it is our pleasure to bring forth her views in her new avatar as Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. The book brings forth her views, her social media interactions, weaved together beautifully by Shivani Arora. It is divided into 2 parts. The book is divided in 2 parts, while the first part gives you a quick glimpse of Dr. Kiran Bedi's tenure so far through her own tweets, blogs, and leadership nuggets, coupled with short, crisp notes by the author Shivani Arora. The second part takes you through the best practices Dr. Bedi has introduced as Lieutenant Governor. The author has spoken to the entire team of Rainwas, as you have seen in the video, and gathered information about each of the practices which reflect kindness, compassion, and at the same time, transparency. The aim of the book is to put forth this model of governance which has changed the administration of Puducherry completely to people, because she believes this is a model which can be replicated by governments and organizations across the country. We would like to accolade the author, Shivani Arora, a freelance journalist and a confidant of Dr. Bedi to bring forth such an important book. We would like to share with you that to kickstart the new year, we launched Where Kindness Spoke on the inauguration day of New Delhi World Book Fair. It was a grand event witnessed by the people from publishing world, fellow writers, authors, book enthusiasts, and media. Many people purchased the book and got it autographed by Dr. Kiran Bedi. Now, I will request Shivani Arora to facilitate the Honorable Governor, Tamilnadu. You have seen this video presentation. It has been prepared by Jennifer Arora. She is a former TV journalist and international speaker with 30 years of experience as a broadcast journalist and executive in Asia. Many of them as former managing director, CEO in NDTV Hindu. Jennifer is known for her fierce reporting on various sensitive issues and relentlessly championing the cause. She has traveled all over Tamil Nadu, highlighting the important news events and human interest reports. Beginning as a freelance interviewer in Doordarshan and All India Radio, she worked with NDTV for many years. May I request her to say a few words?
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this is a total surprise for me. But when I had a call from my friend Asha Gupta if I would help out with what the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry wanted to have done, I was only too pleased because purely I have this little thing in my heart about women in power, and I love it. And so I felt that, yes, this is something I would like to do. All of the work was already done, at least the pictures were already taken by her team at Rajnivas, extremely professional team. I worked with them for a couple of days and we were able to put it together. So I'm really happy if people who are watching it will enjoy watching it because it's all the truth. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
This book, Where Kindness Spoke, authored by Shivani Arora and published by Ghai Saab, who's also emceeing the event, deserves a round of applause because it's a compilation of the work done in the last 3 years, envisaged by our Lieutenant Governor, Dr. Kiran Bedi. We thank Honorable Lieutenant Governor, Tamil Nadu, for being with us this evening. Thank you, sir. I kindly request Shivani ji, please, after the thing, we'd like to hear you speak on the dais. Thank you. Presenting an author sharing by Shivani Arora.
His Excellency, the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, and the Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, my dear family and friends, this is a moment I've really waited for. Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Thiru Banwarilal Purohit ji, Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, Kiran Bedi ma'am, and my dear family and friends. This is a moment I've really waited for, I think, all my life, because I'm someone who's grown up writing. I got my writing genes from my mother. She used to write for Hindi magazines. So I don't remember a time when I have not written, because she used to write for the adult magazines and I used to write for these Champak and Suman Saurabh and all of that as a child. And once I grew up, I was writing for Women's Era. And then soon I made my way into the newspaper world. So writing has always been with me, but nobody's ever nurtured my writing the way Kiran Bedi ma'am has. And that's the result of that is this book, which actually happened as a birthday gift to ma'am. Ma'am turned 70 in June and I wanted to give her a personalized gift. So I compiled this little book which I just gave it to her that day. And she looked at me and said, this is going to become a full-fledged book. Likhna tumhara kaam hai, baki sab mera kaam hai. She's really supported me totally, because this is a whole new world for me. Newspaper writing is a totally different ball game, and publishing is another ball game. I've just learned everything working with ma'am. And I have been part of ma'am's creative team since 2017. I was brought into this team by ma'am's former OSD, Amrita Bahal. Amrita Didi brought me into the team to do her tweeting in Hindi. And I think I just learned everything else working with ma'am, from editing photos on the phone to editing videos, making blogs, posters. I think everything ma'am has taught me in these 2.5 years of working with her. And more than anything else, I think I learned to stay focused, because I stayed with her for 2.5 months, and she made sure I sat in my room and wrote. She didn't take me out anywhere. She would step out at 9:15 every morning, tell me, you're going to sit here and write, you're not coming out anywhere. 2.5 months, I didn't even go to the beach. I used to tell ma'am, I don't know my mother that malum nahi when ma'am will call me to see my work, so I'm not coming out anywhere. And in fact, in the night, I used to ask Asha ma'am, has ma'am come back to her room so that I can change into my night clothes? Because you never know with ma'am, at 10:30 she'll knock at the door and say, Aja, kaam karenge. Because that happened when I wrote Water Rich for her. 10:45 in the night, she came down to her office. Ma'am, her OSD Nitidas sir and I, we worked till almost 12 in the night. And the next morning, 6:30, she was out on the lawn, and she again said, papers leke aa, kaam karenge. So that's how ma'am is and how spontaneous she is. So I've really learned focusing and working from her. And this book has been possible interviewing ma'am's 10 a.m. team, or Team Rajnivas as she calls them, the OSD Nitidas sir, Additional Secretary Sundaresan sir, Private Secretary Sridhar sir, Bhaskar sir, who's the Chief Grievance Officer, Kumaran sir, the PRO, Asha Gupta ma'am, the Controller of Household, and the person quietest in the team whom I call the most dependable, our ADC Karthikeyan sir. And I'm also grateful to the creative team which I am a part of. I've been working with them tirelessly and learning so much. I'm grateful to my publisher, Mr. Surinder Khai, whom ma'am introduced me to. My editor, Mr. Sanjeev Sarin, I met him just once in Delhi, told him exactly how I wanted the book edited, and he did it for me. Mr. Sanjay Pinto, my good friend who's written the foreword, I just had to ask him once. Jennifer Arul ma'am for making that video that complements my book so much that I think wherever the book goes now, the video goes with it. Thank you so much, ma'am. And this book was pre-designed by CompuPrint, Mr. Divakar, and Rizwan on his team, who made this beautiful cover which really attracted ma'am, and she said, go ahead and write the book. And of course, last but not the least, I have to thank our Honorable LG ma'am, who's been my mother, my mentor, a friend, philosopher, guide, everything to me. She's given me the courage today. She's made me believe it's always possible to achieve my dreams. And now, I think with this book, we are out to tell people that Puducherry is the best union territory because it's governed by this governor's kindness. And I dedicate this book to ma'am, both as somebody from her team and as her daughter, because she's always treated me as a daughter. And I also dedicate it to her late parents, because I believe it's their kindness, they have nurtured this kindness, and especially to her dad, this year is his 100th birthday remembrance. So it's dedicated to all of them, and I will be sharing 50% of the royalties of this book with the India Vision Foundation, which is ma'am's NGO that works on prison reforms. Thank you, and Jai Hind.
Your Excellencies, Shivani, Surendra Saab, Jennifer, my colleague, even if we've left NDTV, there are ways in which we always come together. Thanks to the Tamilnadu Governor, there was no pre-censorship, and I salute you for that. You know, a religious, spiritual leader once got off a flight, and there were a battery of journalists out there. And one of them asked him, Guruji, what message do you have for dance bar owners in our country? So the spiritual leader was perplexed. He said, what? Are there many dance bar owners here? The next day, the newspaper headline screamed, on arrival, spiritual leader asks about dance bar owners. Ladies and gentlemen, much as we laugh at this quaint anecdote, I hope you understand the underlying message that today the media tends to sensationalize. the media portrays such negativity that many of us are so disenchanted with it. Either they are cheerleaders or they are completely negative. This is where Shivani Arora's book comes in like a breath of fresh air, because it showcases good work. It makes kindness a virtue in today's big bad world. I have been a great fan personally as a lawyer today, as a journalist turned lawyer. I have been a great admirer of the office of governor. Because a lot of people, even post Ms. Jayalalitha's demise, when there were questions asked about role of governors, there were people who say, office of governor, do we really need it? You know, every time I've always believed that the governor is not a rubber stamp. The governor is not a ceremonial figurehead. The governor's discretion is not a constitutional showpiece. The governor, ladies and gentlemen, today is often torn between law and justice, and we've seen some spectacular governors. I admire the Tamilnadu governor for his zest in learning Tamil. Very few have learned Tamil the way he has. Many of them just stop with Vanakkam, but he has learned Tamil, and I really admire him for that. Talking about the subject of this book, Dr. Kiran Bedi, I was an IPS aspirant when I was in school and college. I never got into the civil services in 95 and 96, God's will. But when having looked back at her career, right from her revolutionary reforms in Tihar, the Magsaysay Award, the way she has come into public life, when I wanted to write an article on her and feature her in one of my columns, I just told Shivani, there was no request, send a letter, call my 4th PA, follow up my 6th PA. She came on the line, Sanjay, how can I help you? That is Dr. Kiran Bedi for you. The next day I got a photograph, all the photographs that I wanted, all the information that I wanted, the article was out. No fuss. Governors don't have to live in those, ivory towers. They are right there, wearing their kids, hitting the road, running, going cycling. As we saw, Jennifer's beautiful. You don't get to hear voiceovers today on television, you only hear slanging matches. It was such a beautiful departure to hear Jennifer's voice all over again on the screen. So for me, when she asked me to write the foreword, I thought this was something that really deserved perhaps an encomium for the person Dr. Kiran Bedi is, that she truly is. Because I have always been in awe of somebody who galvanizes people into action. A lot of people ask, I know there's been criticism of her style of functioning. People say she's crossing the constitutional line of control. I beg to differ. Because the governor, under Article 159 of the Constitution, takes an oath to serve the people, and that's precisely what she is doing. Finally, I know I have limited time. I'd like to finally say that I really wish, it's my wish, that Dr. Kiran Bedi gets a much larger role after her term ends it. Because why should only Puducherry benefit? Thank you.
Now we are waiting for the moment. May I address Dr. Kiran Bedi to please address the audience.
I want to begin by thanking my brother governor, His Excellency, for sparing his very valuable time to be with us today. He and I met long ago. He's a media magnate. He runs Hitadwa, a major publication in his own state, and he invited me as an ordinary citizen. And since then, we remained in contact somehow and remained in mutual admiration and mutual respect. So when I was very happy when he was appointed the governor, because for a change I had a friend in a governor. And he remained absolutely caring for me whenever I visited here. So I want to personally thank him for sparing his value. He's a very busy man. The vice president is at Raj Bhavan, so he's left him behind for us. I want to thank Pinto. I want to thank Arul for strengthening the book, which Shivani needed. Arul has given the voice and the visual for the book, and Pinto has given the punchlines for the book. Thank you so much, Pinto, for coming and being with us today. Shivani has done us a big favor for the Raj Nivas, because she said certain things which we may not have been able to say. She said it on her own. I've honestly not even fully read the book yet. But she had the freedom to write and see and say what she wanted to say. She needed this. And she has fully earned it. She fully has done justice to it. So I want to personally thank you, Shivani, for doing what you've done. And thank the mother behind you for being the strength and energy behind you, the blessing behind you, the mother of Shivani. She's been such a mother, beautiful with us at Rajnivas every time she came. And she's most happy that we have a Hindi edition of the book now. I want to thank my old publisher, my old publisher of decades now. For every time I went to him, ye book chhapni hai. That's it. That's all I do with the Ghai Saab. Say, book, ye bahut achhi hai. Tusi kende ho to bas theek hai. To bas theek hai. So this is how he publishes our books. So Shivani and I met very accidentally, by destiny, that we somehow connected, and I came to her Stella Maris College, and I spoke to them, and since then we have not disconnected even for a single day. We stayed in contact, and see, this book had to happen because she somehow started to document everything which was happening, and then on her own became a chronicler for us. She knew more than what we knew. She could trace out quickly, right, this इतनी तारीख को ये हुआ था, झट से भेज देती है. तो मुझे भी भूल जाता है, इसको याद रहता है. She's such an amazing documenter I could ever come across. If I were to say who is my legacy chronicler, it will be Shivani Arora. She has dug out a lot of past, she's dug out the present, and she's planning the future. I want to thank my team Rajnivas for being part of this. They also left work like I did, but I want to thank Sundaresan. I want to take Bhaskar. Thank you, Asha, and thank you, Kumran. Can you stand up and show what an impressive team I have? And we also have an intern from Rajnivas, the young lady Snigdha. She's an intern from Harvard, and she's studying with us to see how we work. God knows what she's going to write and present in Harvard. Because she's also seen us very closely for the last almost 4 months, 4 weeks. So here's another person competing with you. But she's only had a month. I'm so impressed to see the family of Shivani here, the family and the closest friends. Now it's a duty of each one of you to take her book to different clubs, make her speak more, make her address different groups. And you and I, many of you met us at Rajnivas. We didn't know why we were meeting then, remember? And now we know what we're meeting. Now we will put her right on the world map, right as a writer and an author, and go and present, because she's got the power of the word and the evidence. So Arul's documentary and her book will do the magic. But it'll also spread the magic of good governance. This is not planned. When I came to governors, none of us do. I'm sure my brother governor and I didn't come with a plan as a governor. None of us knew that we would be posted like this. But when you come with a purpose. Some of us come, we are away from homes. I've never worked in South India. But when I was picked up to say, would you like to choose Puducherry, would you like to pick up? I was being pulled out of my home. I had a lot of things going with me strong, traveling the world over, speaking engagements, and bringing in a lot of funding for my foundation work, a lot of funding. Ever since I've moved, the funding has gone somewhere else, but they're struggling for themselves. But I've come here leaving because this to me was an opportunity of a lifetime. And friends, that is the secret behind this work, because I do not know how long it'll last. It's come this far, I'm quite surprised that it's lasted almost so long. It turned out to be one of my longest tenure in my policing career. I never crossed 2 years anywhere. And here I've already crossed 3.5 years. 3.5 years. I don't know what's keeping me going here. But if I can make the secret public, is that probably the way CM and I are dealing with each other is giving us going. I think it's the way we both are dealing. We both need each other, it looks like. We are indispensable to each other. He challenges me, I challenge him, so we are great challengers. So I think the government of India is liking the challenge. So it's keeping me going, thinking, why change the challenge? Keep it going. So friends, I think that's what's keeping me here. But the point here is, I'm not here for I'm not here thinking for long. I live one day at a time. Every day in the morning we get up, we have a wonderful team, we all laugh, we all work, we assign duties to each other, and then we leave it to each other to work. And then in the end, we enjoy ourselves because every day a new small battle has been won. Every day something new has been achieved. It's sometimes on the file, sometimes it goes public. Well, but it's all known to us, and the way we all enjoy when we catch up the next day, what happens. Sometimes in the papers and sometimes it's not. All I can tell my friend Pinto is, look, the first person I invited to meet me when I took over was the law secretary. I asked my law secretary, tell me my legal responsibilities. Tell me the provision of the law. Tell me my financial powers. Tell me my service powers. Tell me if there's a difference of opinion between them, what happens. The law secretaries was the first briefing I took from when I took over as Lieutenant Governor, because you have to work within the parameters of law. I am only doing what was taught by him. So if he taught me rightly, I'm fine. If he taught me wrongly, then I know who he is, and I can tell him where he is. The question here is, but if it gets challenged all the time, that's okay. That's the challenge which we are all going through. So I am strictly going by the letter and spirit of the law, but I'm applying it with a sense of humanity. When I started my Indian police service, I do remember one thing, that first day almost, when I was an assistant superintendent of police, and I met a complainant. And one word she said, I'll never forget. I met her. She had an issue of some theft, and I had a conversation with her. And whatever I said to her, she said, "Main ab aapko kabhi nahi bhulungi." She said, "I'll never forget you." I looked at her. That means if she's not going to forget me, I would. That means that's the way it is in public life. Anybody who meets a public official never forgets the public official. Public official may forget, but he or she does not. So I start to wonder, this means this is what it is. Anybody who meets me, the way I deal with that person is not going to forgive me or forget me. So let me not give him a situation to forgive me or forget me. Let me create a situation where he remembers me for whatever I did for him. So that's been the spirit. It's been effortless since then. It was an attitude, it's been effortless. And I think that's where her title is coming from, kindness. Anybody who has come across at Rajdivas, either sent an email or a personal visitation or a visitor or anybody, never got distressed. We always revived hope in that person to say, we will find a solution. Or if we don't have it, explain it to that person that these are the parameters where we can cross and we can't. But understand, it's not because we don't want to help you, but because these are the parameters under which we have to work. So that means even when that person goes back, says, I know why we could not get this, but I know where were the limitations of the administration. So friends, I think if that's a spirit in public service, if we all acquire, that whoever meets you as a public official, young, junior or senior, doesn't matter, never forgets. So how do you want to be remembered? Many times, and last statement which I like to make, many times when I travel, sometimes people come across to say, I want to share with you something. So for a moment, I hold a breath. Now, what is he going to say? You know what? You did this for me. Every time you have forgotten. But Kiran, I met you so many years ago. You did this for me. Or Kiran, I heard you there. You said this at that time. So they remember what I said, or I remember what I did. Oh my God, what an onerous responsibility it is that you be going to be always remembered for what you said, whatever bit. It's not, you may have said many things, but if you somebody remembers you for a few words of that, that's what they come back in travels every time. So it's been so many years of public life. That's what life has been at Rajdivas. Thousands of people have come to Rajdivas as visitors, as petitioners, or as just casual inviters. We've tried to give them an experience of good, positive public service. And that's what these positions are for. I thank you once again for sparing such a valuable time for my friend, for my junior journalist. It's a fact. I'm surprised what she told me. She says, Kiran, that's the first time whatever I wrote has been acknowledged in her name. Whenever I wrote, they didn't even acknowledge her. She didn't even attribute it that this has been written by Shivani. I said, I can't believe this can happen. This is your material. The credit must remain with you. It's her large-heartedness that she's decided to dedicate half of the royalties to a cause which educates children of prisoners, etc. That's her large-heartedness. Now, onus is on friends and relatives to see that she goes around to different clubs, different lecture forums, goes back to Merastalis, her own college or whatever, and she picks up the lessons for whatever she had. What is it that she can share? Because she will be more frank in my absence rather than my presence. So let us share the goodwill and the good practices which can benefit our youngsters, men or women. Once again, I want to thank my brother governor for having spared very precious time from his very busy schedule, leaving behind Honorable Vice President and coming out for a Lieutenant Governor. From Vice President to a Lieutenant Governor, he decided to come. I'm so very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kiran Bedi. Now we have come to the, may I request, before I request our Honorable Governor Tamil Nadu, I would like to read a brief about him. Thiru Banwarilal Purohit ji is an Indian politician who is the current and 21st Governor of Tamil Nadu, having been appointed as the Governor of Tamil Nadu on 30th September 2017. He assumed office on October 6, 2017. He was appointed as Governor of Assam State by President of India on 17th August 2016. He was a Member of Parliament from the Nagpur Lok Sabha constituency 3 times, twice as an Indian National Congress member, once as a BJP member. A prolific scholar himself, he gained ownership of the Nagpur daily newspaper, The Hitabda, from Servants of India Society in 1979. The newspaper was launched by Gopal Krishan Gokhale in 1911, and His Excellency is its current managing editor. He is also the chairman of Shri Ramdev Baba College of Engineering and Management in Nagpur. His Excellency is also the chairman of Bhavan Bhagwan Das Purohit Vidya Mandir, Nagpur. He is one of the most respected person in the country without. He is also the vice chairman of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan schools founded by late Shri K.L. Munshi ji in 1938. Now may I request him to address the audience.
Anavarakkum Malai Vanakkam. Governor Tamil Nadu, I have to speak something in Tamil. Dr. Kiran Bedi ji, Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, Mr. Surendra Ghai, Managing Director, Sterling Publishers Private Limited, Shivani Arora, the author of the book, Mr. Sanjay Pinto, renowned journalist, Srimati Jennifer Arul, ex-chief NDTV, and distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. Before giving compliment to the author, first I will give compliment to the publisher who have presented such a wonderful book. Artwork is super. Cover is presentable. And quality of paper is also wonderful. It's perfect. Artwork, printing, everything is. Book is really before reading it's presentable, and everybody desires that I must read it, I must read it. No? About Kiran Bedi ji is not new for the Indians. I am her fan not from today after becoming Lieutenant Governor of that. I am her fan since 1982. The news in all the papers of the country appeared on the front page in a box item somewhere that she, with the help of a crane, she dragged the car of the then Prime Minister of the country, Indira Gandhi. What a wonderful job. When somebody tried to obstruct, she was that time, I think, Deputy Commissioner Traffic. And she was entrusted the job that traffic should be smooth. She demonstrated on that very first action that in the eyes of the law, everybody is equal, whether a Prime Minister or somebody else. Since then I am your fan, I have never met. I met you later on. But I was reading everything about you. And then naturally, most of the senior officers, they got annoyed. Tried to transfer. She was always ready. हिंदी में कहा था हमारा बोरिया बिस्तर तैयार है. I am ready to go anywhere. Send me anywhere. She once said to Tihar prison, okay, you manage. And she, within her shortest span, made it a wonderful, ideal prison in the country, Tihar prison. And columns were written on those actions. I remember. So since then, if you are thinking that because he is Lieutenant Governor, I am Governor, it's our duty that come. No, since 82. And I remember we invited her to Nagpur, after I think you retired that, to deliver a speech, subject I don't remember. The moment in our paper appeared that this program and Dr. Kiran Bedi is going to address on this subject, 5,000 invitations were printed. I think more than enough. 5,000 invitations. And there was a mention, those who desire, they can come on the counter and collect their invitation, we will give them. There was a demand, 10,000 invitations were given. You see, there was a tremendous demand. And when she came, mammoth crowd, more than 15,000 crowd was there, unmanageable. Everybody was spellbound. So, it gives me immense pleasure in being in your midst to release the book, Where Kindness Spoke, which documents the work of the Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, Dr. Kiran Bedi. The unparalleled Thiruvalluvar gives the nature of the quality of good books in his 783rd verse. That is, Navil Thorum Nul Nayam. Navil Thorum Nul Nayam. In this verse, he uses good books as a comparison to good men of character. He says that one's experience of such persons is like the reading of good books as we keep associating with great men of substance. We learn greater dimensions of their nobility, even as good work keep yielding newer and deeper thoughts with every reading. In India, we have beautiful traditions connected with the writing of great verse and the making of masterpieces. Lord Ganpati takes upon himself the challenge of being the writer of the extensive Mahabharata. Even as sage Vyasa dictates it. You know that Mahabharata was written by Ganpati. Maharshi Vyas, that I can speak, but somebody should be there to write, no? Then Ganpati volunteered that I will write. And the Valmiki Ramayana is born out of the compassion that flowers in sage Valmiki's heart when he sees a bird of a pair of lovebirds being brought down by a hunter's arrow. Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, the second president of India, once said, books are the means by which we build bridges between cultures. When children develop love of reading at an early age, their language skills grow. Their imagination is enriched. Their world becomes a world of wonder, and they later easily adapt to the reading focused learning environment of their classrooms. For books are friends that open themselves to us at our will and convenience, sharing all that they have. What would many of us be without the value and sense of adventure that books bequeathed us? Books give us the wisdom and strength to face the challenge of life. Great men change the world, but it is books that change great men. Take Gandhiji, for example. His life was profoundly changed after this. He read John Ruskin's Unto This Last on a train ride from Johannesburg to Durban in South Africa on October 1st, 1904. Influenced by the book, he established the Phoenix Ashram, where he and his co-workers practiced the ideals put forth by Unto This Last. I recall a few months ago when the author came and met me at my office. Shivani came at my office and shared a copy of the book with me. I was amazed how closely she has followed the work of Dr. Bedi and documented it in this style. Total command over the language. It is rare. She also shared with me her linguistic skill, and now she helps Dr. Bedi by translating her tweets into Hindi. It is indeed very rare to see someone who has such command over two languages and dabbling between the two effortlessly. I congratulate Dr. Kiran Bedi for nurturing such talent and supporting the good work, and the author Shivani for her efforts in writing this book. The book, I noticed in two parts. First gave me a glimpse of Dr. Bedi's tenure, starting with her oath-taking, where she gave the T, trust, empowerment and accountability. Her 10 a.m. meeting is rare. 10 a.m. meeting, we set the tone for the day. No governor is doing this except you. That this is the administration. Weekend morning rounds, we shall be remembered in the annals of administration of Puducherry. The way she took on the medical admissions issue, open house which stands out on the top of the list of good practices, the integrity with which she works to ensure financial prudence, the historic dharma, her path-breaking model of using corporate social responsibility to make Puducherry water rich and not to forget her way of mentoring the officers, whether it is through one-on-one meetings, department visits, review meetings, or self-evaluation tests. She had tremendous strength and also a fighting spirit. If you see the truth and cease to speak, is the day you start dying. These were the words of Martin Luther King. and you are following, madam, hats off to you. Really creditable. I am really impressed to see how she leads by example, continues to work long hours a day, undeterred by any form of opposition, and has brought a marked change in the administration of Puducherry. Second part of the book highlights all the good practices by Dr. Bedi as Lieutenant Governor. I appreciate the way the author has taken time to speak to all the officers at Raj Nivas, understand their views, point, and put forth the chapters with total objectivity. She has quoted Dr. Bedi's nuggets, tweets, and blogs in relevant places, and these adds value to the chapters. At the end of each chapter, I also noticed management lessons being mentioned, which truly shows how each of these good practices is nothing valuable management lesson which can be implemented not just by the government but also by organizers across the spectrum. The author has highlighted how kindness is the one factor that has been the driving force behind such governance. Truly, whether it is being accessible, visible, reaching out to people, helping them, it has all been possible due to the kindness exuded by Dr. Kiran Bedi as Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. An interesting section of photographs is added to the book, which gave me a visual glimpse of all the good work being done in Puducherry. Each and every photograph speaks volumes, I tell you. There is a saying in the journalism, an entire write-up of 5 or 6 pages can't reveal everything which one photo reveals. It is very important and properly placed. I appreciate this one. The model of water-rich Puducherry introduced by Dr. Kiran Bedi, where she has worked on bringing back a historic model of community involvement in desilting of water channels, is absolutely commendable. This I was reading daily in our newspapers. Your all the actions I remember. I have full knowledge. You don't call me as I am your CID or watching here, nothing, but I am appreciate. Newspaper, whatever is appearing, people come and tell me. And personally, once I had been to your Puducherry, I have personally seen your popularity. She is tremendously popular in Puducherry, you see. I have seen her speech on tremendous ovation on each and every word. That impressed me a lot that time. Creditable. The way she has encouraged companies and organizations to join hands through their CSR and desilted rural water channels, urban drains, is awe-inspiring, and truly it is a model which can be easily replicated anywhere in the country. I really hope a lot of people will read this book, especially CEOs, head of the management schools, civil servants, and various academicians. I really hope a lot of people will read this book, especially CEOs, head of management schools, civil servants, various academics, because I believe she is a role model for all of them. So that this model of governance, which as the author has said is driven by purposeful kindness, will percolate down the hierarchies, and we will have more effective management in our government offices and other organizations. A recent news said that one of the universities abroad is planning a course of kindness in leadership, and now here is a book which can be an effective textbook for them to gather examples from. They also have a film made by noted journalist Jennifer Arul, which is literally like seeing the book. I once again congratulate Dr. Kiran Bedi for her efforts in leading this kindness-driven model of governance, for supporting the author putting together a book like this. And the author of our efforts penning the book, Where Kindness Spoke. Whatever it is, चलते रहो, दुनिया झुकेगी, दुनिया झुकेगी. बहुत बढ़िया काम कर रहे हैं आप. We are proud of you, ma'am. We are proud of you. I must make a special reference to time. I have already mentioned, but again at the cost of repetition, because I had jotted this point. Dr. Kiran Bedi addressed a large gathering of citizens in Nagpur on the invitation of our English newspaper, Hitwada, during the centenary year in 2011. That was our centenary year, 100 years Hitwada completed, and we invited you. And you mesmerized everybody, I remember. Her presence inspired thousands of people who heard her lecture on fight against corruption, fight against corruption. That is the one thing. That is the need of the hour. Till the corruption is not eliminated, we can't claim to be the Vishwaguru. Vishwaguru होना है तो जड़ से corruption eliminate करना चाहिए. And Kiran Bedi is trying his best, and everybody must support her. That is our duty. Must support. I extend my best wishes and greetings to the organizers who have taken painstaking efforts to organize this function in a very befitting manner. May success greet them in all their endeavors. Nandri Vanakkam, Jai Hind, Jai Tamil Nadu.
Thank you, sir. You have really praised the book, the production, everything. And now may I request a small favor from you that you get it reviewed in Hitavda, the book. I am thankful to Chief Thiru Banwarilal Purohit ji for coming and addressing us and praising the book, praising Kiran Bedi ji, praising the author, praising the everybody who is connected with the book. I am really thankful to you, sir. I am also thankful to Dr. Kiran Bedi for, she is a master of synchronizing all the things. And she knows how to get the things done, which you might have seen in the video which was there. So thank you, Dr. Bedi. I'm thankful to Shivani Arora, who gave us the opportunity for releasing the book here in Tamil Nadu. I'm also thankful to all of you. I'm especially thankful to Mr. Raja Ram Murthy for, he is a chairman of Loka Yug and president. So I'm thankful to all of you for joining us in this function. Thank you. And now may we have the national anthem again, please. Thank you.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
We'd like to thank Jennifer Arul for helping us to curate these wonderful movies and short films. Thank you, Jennifer.
you.